So again, on this Pinterest win or fail, I found this adorable string art. I'm actually going to use yarn though, so it's going to be yarn art. But I found these varieties and I just love the way they look. And they're actually very simple to make, so let's get started. To make this adorable project, you will need a board of any size. I picked a very large one because it's going to go above my couch. And a map. I found this map on Google Images and then I just saved it to a disk, and then I took it to Staples and they actually have this engineering paper which is about $5 or so depending on what size you get. And I mean the smallest one could be $1 or something, so mine was bigger. For mine, I decided to stain my wood a red mahogany color. This is a very pretty color. I've used it before, that's why it's all messy. But you can also paint it any color or just leave it plain, whatever you desire. You will then need some kind of nails. I found these just plain nails. They have a very flat edge to them. You will need a hammer, some type of string. I used yarn, Lion Brand yarn. I bought 2 balls of yarn, however, I only used one of them and I didn't even use a whole one. I just used probably less than half of it. I also went out and bought a small red yarn as well to make an accent color. To start, I cut out my map. Now I roughly cut it out and with the idea of hammering on the line through the paper. However, when I removed it, it left behind so many little pieces inside the nail area that it was a pain to remove. So if I were to do this again, I would cut exactly on the line and put my nails on the outside of the paper so that you don't have that pain of removing them later. Next, you're going to paint or stain, in this case, your wood. Make sure if you're using stain or paint that you use a well-ventilated room or you're outside. It is very cold here in Michigan and we have like a foot of snow out there, so I am doing it inside. However, it is very well ventilated. Stir your stain and then start spreading it on your board, according to your instructions, of course. Next, you're going to hammer your nails in. Now you can see here where I hammered it right through the paper. Remember, this becomes a hassle later, so try to put your nails on the outside of the paper as close to your border as possible. Also, this was the hardest for me to get started. I don't know what happened. I think it was I didn't want to chip the wood and I didn't want to put the nail in too far because my nails were a little longer than the wood. So just keep an eye on the size of your nails because in my box they were a little different. I tried to measure it with a ruler, as you can see here. However, I ended up not doing that later because I found out my nails were different size. Once you are done with all of your nails, it's time to remove the paper. Yay, the fun part! And removing the paper would be a lot easier if I did not put the nails through the paper. So just my only advice for you is to definitely put your nails on the outsiding of the paper. I think that'll be best, and that's what I will do in the future if I decide to do this again. For your final step, you're going to take your yarn and tie it to one of the nails and then string it through to random spots on your map. I decided to do a random pattern throughout, and then I went from there. However, in the beginning, I did want to put a heart in Michigan and then, do that one string look where it's kind of just straight strings all the way across. However, it was not going to work with the lake around Michigan. It would kind of interact with that and look kind of weird. So I decided just to do a random, pattern through the United States and then do the same with Michigan. Here I am trying to figure out what the heck Michigan looks like, because with the nails in there, somehow I got very distracted. So to start off with Michigan, I decided to do a random pattern like I did the rest of the United States. However, it didn't quite look right. It looked kind of like a mess in there and just was not looking good. A little bit of advice: if you are making something small like little Michigan there, then make it a little wider, because when you put the yarn in there, it makes it look smaller and a mess. So make it a little wider before you put the yarn in there. I then decided to switch it off and do just an outline of the state. I thought that looked a lot neater and a little better. However, I still would have made Michigan a little wider if I were to do this again. And if you look closely at the bottom of the nails, you can see the little pieces of paper that are still in there. I did end up getting these later after I saw that they were in there from the video. And this is the best I can make Michigan look. Hopefully it looks decent enough. And here is that big blank wall that we had before and then after. I still think we put it up too high. My husband thinks it's just right, but what do you guys think? Leave me a comment letting me know. Alright, I hope you guys liked this video. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up and subscribe.